All right, so you may have noticed that on my plane I have two ailerons and one elevator, and when I move the rudder stick, one of the ailerons moves, right? You're like, what's the deal with that? Why is it moving the wrong thing? Okay, and that's because I when I plugged in my servos to my receiver, I don't have a rudder on this plane, so I put one aileron in the aileron spot and the other aileron in the rudder spot. Okay, I guess it would have been aileron spot, rudder spot. So in my transmitter, I need to configure that so that it knows to control these two outputs as ailerons, not one of them as a rudder and one as an aileron. Okay, so we're going to go in and set that up in the transmitter right now. I'm going to try to zoom in on the transmitter so we can get a nice view of what's going on here. See how well our zoom functions. And we move this a little bit here. All right, so try to turn this so it's actually straight in the camera for once in this video. All right, so I'm in my EdgeTX menu here. This is Model 2, is just what it's called. I'm going to go ahead and press the Model button over here on the right-hand side. Can't wait for the camera to adjust there. And we're going to go Page Over, so the Page Over button. We have our setup. We already set that up because everything's bound. We have our flight modes, inputs, okay, and mixes. All right, so here we have our mixes. So this is kind of saying, hey, channel 1 is ailerons, channel 2 is elevator, channel 3 is throttle, channel 4 is rudder. But we don't have rudder, so we're going to go into channel 4. We're going to press our scroll wheel, so like click it, kind of. Actually, we're going to long press it, sorry. And then we're going to press Edit. And we're going to go in here and see where it says Source. Go to Source, we're going to select, we're just going to move our aileron stick. Okay? And now it changed to ailerons. We can hit Return once, it'll save that. And now when we go back to this page, it's going to say aileron, elevator, throttle, aileron. And that is, in fact, the order I plug things into my physical receiver. I plugged in the one aileron, elevator, throttle, and then the other aileron into the other port on my receiver. And so now, if we go zoom back out here, okay, to our plane, we have aileron movement with the aileron stick. Let's see if I can show that. Okay, rudder does nothing, which is what it's supposed to do on this plane. There's no rudder. Okay, so now we have our ailerons moving and our elevator. Bingo. We're looking pretty good. Okay. And last thing we want to check is do what's called a high five check. So I'm going to hold my transmitter like over my plane as if it were sitting in the cockpit kind of. I'm going to check my control surfaces. I want to make sure that none of them are moving the wrong way or moving in reverse. So as I move my aileron this way, okay, that would be a right turn. However, my ailerons are moving. Let me just flip this around so it's a little bit easier for me and for you guys. Okay. So as I move this way, that would be a left turn. Okay. However, my ailerons are moving down here and up here, so that would actually be a right turn on the plane, even though I'm pushing the stick to the left. So we got to fix that. And I'm guessing the opposite's also true. So right turn, the ailerons are basically moving opposite of what they should be doing to give me a right turn or to give me a left turn. So we need to reverse those. Okay. That's not very hard. We'll do that in just a second. Let's check our elevator. When I pull up on the stick or pull it towards me, the elevator should come up. My elevator is going down, so that's not good. When I push forward, it should go down and it's coming up, so that's also reversed, okay? So let's fix those in the transmitter and get those moving the right direction so when we take off, we can actually fly our airplane with the correct controls. Let's see, I'm right there. Okay. So I'm on the mixes page still from before. We can go ahead and page over here to the outputs page. Okay. What we need to do is reverse some of these outputs. And that just means when I move the stick up, it should go the direction I want, not the other direction. So channel 1 we know is ailerons. If we go back here. So, oops, sorry. Let's go back to our mixes. We know channel 1 is ailerons and channel 4 is ailerons. So let's go page over. We'll say channel 1 and channel 4 need to be reversed. So let's go ahead and click on channel 1 with a long press on the scroll wheel. We're going to say edit. And then down here where it says direction, we're going to scroll down to that. We're just going to click on it once. And it will say INV for inverted. Okay. Return, return. Okay. And you see now this little arrow on that one channel is going the opposite direction from all the other arrows. It's been inverted. I'm going to channel 4, edit, same thing. Okay, inverted, return, return. Now those arrows are both backwards. Okay, let's see if it worked. It did. I'll show you on the camera in just a second. And then we'll go back to our elevator channel, which is channel 2, ailerons, then elevator. Long press there, edit, down to the direction, okay, and oops, and invert, okay? And so now we should get, there we go, good. And so we can see those 3 arrows, so 1, 2, and 4 are all inverted, okay? Throttle calibration is a different thing. We'll talk about that in a second, but now all of our control surfaces, if we move back out here, are moving the right way, which is fantastic. Okay, so if I go left turn, the right aileron drops, left one comes up, so it's going to be a left turn. Right turn, opposite, okay? And then an elevator, if I pull towards me, it's going to come up. If I push away, it goes down. Bingo, there's our control surfaces working, okay? Awesome. We already talked about our motor. I just remember we already talked about the direction of the motor. So don't change the motor channel direction in your radio. That won't do what you think it will do. Okay. We did get that in the right direction earlier, but one thing we need to do is a ESC calibration to make sure that our motor will go all the way up and all the way down, and it will stop when we get to 0 instead of continuing to spin, which would be dangerous. Okay. So I'll show you this in class as well, but this is called the ESC calibration. I'm going to unplug my plane, okay? I'm going to take my transmitter. My transmitter's on first. My throttle is at full. No propeller, right? We don't have a propeller on. Throttle's at full. We're going to plug in the plane. Here's some tones. First set of tones. Second set of tones. Drop the throttle to 0 when you hear the second set. And it will finish up there. Now your ESC is calibrated. So it should spin up. And then more importantly, it should stop when you go to 0. It shouldn't keep spinning. Okay. And the full throttle should be full throttle, right? That's important for flying, but the safety part is making sure it stops at 0. All right. Okay. I think that is it for the plane. I'm trying to think of anything else I might have missed. I think that's pretty much it though. At this point, you want to refer to some of the other material in class as far as setting up your transmitter with different rates and things like that. I cover that in some of the simulator videos to configure the plane to fly with, a little bit more docile, not so snappy, a little bit easier to fly when you first start out, rates and expo. So please watch that video regarding that on your transmitter, that setup. I have you do it in one of the simulator assignments in preparation for the real planes so you can fly them a little more easily. Other than that, one final note, the foam board on the wings is only basically a single sheet. So as you go through the semester, if you find that your plane needs some reinforcements, maybe some popsicle sticks or a paint stick can be a good reinforcement to kind of be a spar or hold the wing up so it's not all wobbly, I guess. Just one single foam board is not very strong, right? And if you have some impacts, you might break the foam, and that's okay. That's easy to repair, easy to build these planes, so you can be back in the air in no time. If you'd like to make those modifications, that's totally fine. Otherwise, happy flying. Thanks for watching.